10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Welcome back, old friend, in more ways than one. And as the Eurythmics used to say, here comes the rain again. It's not the rain I'm worried about, it's the lightning that'll light up your ass. 2 minutes after the top of the 10 o'clock hour in the Central Time Zone, 2 minutes after 8 in the Pacific Time Zone. Everybody else do the math. Live from a multiple location station, welcome into Beyond Ringside Saturday Showcase, the Shooters Gallery. Target Zone is open. That's got more double entendres than I've got active brain cells. Live from Studio 1, the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne, welcoming in tag team partner from the Peachstate himself, the president of the Peachstate Wrestling Alliance, Shane Noles. What's up, buddy?
Oh, not much, Eddie. I'm wondering who will stop the rain. I scrapped the arithmetic there and went straight into John Fogerty.
Nice. Coming up next on Let's Play Music Trivia.
Because I'm not going to ask you, have you ever seen the rain? Because anywhere in your nearby vicinity, there's an abundance.
No, but Madonna and I did take a walk in the rain, track 10, erotica CD. And of course,
I do love a rainy night, Eddie Rabbit.
Yeah, and as I said to somebody I knew one time, I saw you and him walking in the rain, Orange Juice Jones.
The old Kentucky rain.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Elvis.
Backed by Ronnie Millsap on that one, and I guess put a nice bow on it. Gary Allen, all these songs about rain.
Yeah, I know. And on one of those days, I'm going to do my Jim Cantori impression. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Raindrops
keep falling on my head, DJ Thomas. I feel like this could go for the entire duration.
It really could, knowing us. You've got the DJ and the trivia master working side by side on this one, kids. Speaking of, it's funny, I was watching College Game Day on the flagship or the mothership earlier this morning, and they had a special live report from Cantori. I'm going, you've got the Weather Channel, which is NBC Universal, doing a drop-in on ESPN Go. It's like, okay, we have a crossover. I'm good with this. Thank you to everybody listening in so far on BeyondRingside.com, the Beyond Ringside radio app for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry. Try saying that 3 times fast. Of course, the TuneIn radio app for across formats. Ustream is up and going. Shoutcast running full steam as well. Crazy week, and it's going to keep getting even crazier. The weekend is here. I'm on a totally wrestling unrelated note. It finally came out yesterday, and the nerd is happy. Yes, I'm talking about Avengers Age of Ultron, released on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital yesterday. I wrapped up last night at Buffalo Wild Wings, and by the way, thank you to everybody who made it out last night. We had a stellar crowd from start to finish last night, some great singers and people who came out to have some fun, and that's what it's all about. And the second they were done, dropped over to the Evil Empire and spent $20 and got the Blu-ray on Avengers Age of Ultron. Have you seen that movie yet?
I did. I saw it in theaters in May. I enjoyed it, and it's funny you mentioned on a Friday because I've noticed Tuesday was for years, at least 15 years to my knowledge, was always the release date for movies and CDs. But I noticed with new albums like Don Henley's solo country album as well as Alabama's comeback album, both dropped on Friday. So now they're doing that with movies as well, which I think is really good because then you've got it. Most people are off for the weekend and got to take it right home and watch it. All out Eddie Layne.
You know, well, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to wait till tomorrow night late after I get done with the traffic. It's okay. I saw it twice in theaters, and like I said, I've just been waiting on it to come out. It's not necessarily the case of it's the library thing. I've got the entire series all the way through, including all 3 Iron Man movies, and it's just a case of the continuity factor. Kind of like the reason why I went ahead and bought WrestleMania on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
The continuity factor of keeping the collection in place.
Right.
But I'm waiting because they've got some more good movies coming up in the Marvel Universe, and actually I'm waiting on some of the new stuff from the DC Universe as well. So, yeah, they're finding a way to get the nerds out of the house and into the theaters, and this is a good thing.
Yeah, Marvel's definitely had the jump for the better part of a decade. But I think once DC starts getting into these characters, your Green Lanterns, your Flashes, Wonder Womans, I don't know if they'll go the route of Cyborg, but they certainly do, have the capacity to do so if they choose.
They do, and that's one thing. It's like crossing movies into television for a minute. Flash makes his return, I believe it's this upcoming week. Arrow's getting ready for their new season. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kicked off this past week. And I'm also waiting to see if there's any more news about CW's Legends of Tomorrow, which promises to be a really good series itself. Now, got a question for you. Diving head first. Yeah, no, we went a few minutes without wrestling. Guess what? We're going to get some wrestling in here real quick. Kane, better than ever?
Kane, on our screens, again, in the main event time slot. I think if you've watched Raw the last couple of weeks with what they're doing with the Big Show and Kane, for those that are fans of the 1997 through 2000 era, you're getting your jollies.
It's really strange for me because you've got two individuals that have been constant and consistent. One is Kane, the other is Big Show. I like the fact that even though they've rushed it, rushed it, the rebuilding of the Big Show into a pure power personality. This is something they should have been working on for at least 6 months, not 6 days.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because there's something that, and longtime listeners know that I am a stickler for, I don't want to use the word credibility, culpability. I want to use the word believability. If a person has been in a less than great storyline, and all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, they're a monster again. I like the way they've done it with Kane because you've got the split personality working.
Huh?
And this is something they really haven't done with him. Whereas when
there's a different dynamic, you know, I mean, you're getting to see corporate Kane and then evil red mask Kane, and the audience is privy to what's going on, but, you know, I guess the people around him have to realize there's two different characters.
And the fun part is I like how corporate Kane shows signs of the demon without acknowledging the demon.
Mm.
Now, I started watching SmackDown last night, and I had to change channels halfway through, mainly because I needed to fall asleep. So I turned on Fox News. I fall asleep in a heartbeat there. Just depending on who's on. If it's Megyn Kelly or Judge Janine Pirro, I'm awake. Need I say more? But no, seriously, I didn't get
back to the target zone.
There you go. I did. Ouch. And thank you, Cinemax, for showing some of the weirdest movies on late night. I really do appreciate the fact that you were an Insomniac's nightmare, not an Insomniac's dream, an Insomniac's nightmare. It's like, are they really showing this? What the hell? Oh crap!
Thanks for rolling out Troll 2 at midnight.
Yeah, I know it. But no, seriously, the lead intro for SmackDown or the first segment for SmackDown this week, of course, you had Rollins come back out to the ring, and this is something that I'm really starting to get a little bit trepidatious about, is the fact that they are relying way too much on extended segment 1 yak.
Yeah.
Triple H used to be the world's worst about that. Triple H comes out every week, cuts a 20-minute promo, then we finally get the first match in the ring. We're getting the same thing with Rollins. And if it is a one-person, two-person deal, depending on who the individuals are, because I watched social media this past week, and people were just like, Seth, we love you. Shut up. Have you gotten to that point yet?
Yeah, I mean, I was really that way with Triple H and Stephanie. It's like I knew when they would start Raw and come out, I had the opportunity to go to the restroom, order a pizza or do whatever, and come back in 15 minutes, and the bell still hasn't rang for the first match. Just with our own promotion, Peachstate, we've been very adamant about that. Like, if you're going to start the show with a talk segment, it better be important. It doesn't need to be the norm, whereas people say, oh, this is what we're accustomed to when the show begins. There's going to be talking before we get action. I think it should be in reverse. Monday Night Raw, they call it sports entertainment. It's still wrestling. I'd love to see, like when they started with the old days. You don't even have to do the entrances. Two guys are in the ring. We are live and ring the bell. You set the tone.
Yeah. Now, thing about it is, for the television audience, and this is something that depending on the individual, you mentioned the entrances, and I'll take that setup, because there are some individuals that the entrance helps to set the tone, both on television and in live events. And I think one of the ones you have to show the entrance for, even though it's slightly mundane to a great degree, it still has a great effect to it, is Roman Reigns.
Right.
His music hits. You see him coming down the stairway, going through the crowd, bumping hands, all of the above. And even though he's not the uber energetic, you're walking downstairs. You don't want to be uber energetic. That might end up in about a 20-stair collision crash. And then there are others that, if they're in the ring. Now, I have a question. Let me segue for a hot second, Shane. If you come back from a break and somebody's already in the ring, entrance bypassed for the television side, do you not automatically think that they're doing the JOB?
You would think. Of course, that was a way they had actually built up Goldberg on Nitro. If you remember those first couple of times, he was in the ring, and sometimes he didn't get his name on the graphic. The announcers had to introduce who he was. I think that puts more emphasis on your announcers to tell the story.
Agreed. And therein lies the funny part, because WWE's announcers have a tendency to gloss over, especially if it's somebody who's not homegrown WWE talent. If it's somebody they're bringing in to do an enhancement match, they pretty much blow it off and blow over it. And that's the part that really just makes me go, yeah, no. And I can understand them not wanting to really try to put somebody who doesn't work for the E over. Even if it's going to be a smash match against Lesnar's show, Mark Henry, Kane, whatever. But coming back over, let me go ahead and do this one real quick. We're going to segue because in the middle of WWE discussion. 3 matches have been really actively announced for tonight's network event from Madison Square Gardens. I appreciate the fact that they're getting the idea, and I think they're taking the clue from NXT. I really do. About doing house shows. And I'm not, because I got to wonder if they're going to, how much of the set they're going to take, because they can't always get that much in MSG because of the layout of the arena. They've never really relied on a huge set in Madison Square Garden. But tonight, WWE Network, live, Madison Square Garden, main event, Brock Lesnar, Big Show. Could they have done, this is the dumbest question I'm going to ask today. Hello, Captain Obvious. Could they have done a better long-form build for this event, considering the fact they've had it on the books for a few months?
I agree. I mean, it plays into what you said, 6 days of build-up as opposed to 6 months. If you really wanted to seem special, Big Show should have been a machine going over people very handily to build up with Lesnar. To me, these network specials, like the one July 4th in Japan, they're the generation's new Saturday night's main events. They used to air on NBC.
I remember that very well. And, they actually, I don't remember if it was mentioned on Raw, but I know that they led with it last night on SmackDown, Thursday on SmackDown. It's still knee-jerk reaction. I finally get a chance to, SmackDown comes on Thursday and I don't watch it. I watch it on Friday. Go figure. Thank you, DVR. And before that, thank you, VCR. John Cena, Seth Rollins, inside of a steel cage. You know how many people would love to have this on a mainstream or a mainline WWE pay-per-view, much less even a Monday Night Raw, rather than a surprise match on the WWE Network from MSG, Shane?
Oh, exactly. I mean, Rollins and Cena have dynamic chemistry together. That SummerSlam match was just about one of my favorite matches of the year. Mm-hmm. The follow-up on the last pay-per-view, and now it just seems like when they go to MSG, I don't know what it is about that old-time building. Man, you throw that steel cage in there, and that builds up some excitement.
And one of the other matches that has been advertised is a rematch for the WWE Tag Team Championship. The Dudley Boys coming right back after it against the New Day. Remembering where the previous network event was, I can't. Okay, I'll change it from network event to $9.99 per view. That's what I started saying. That's what I started saying back when the network really first started picking up, and they were going to start showing the pay-per-views on the network. It's like, it's not a pay-per-view; it's a $9.99 per view. And yeah, Smart Rage and Stan, Smart Rage especially, has just tried to abscond with that. Stan just uses it every once in a while for the hell of it. I really don't know if I'm a huge fan of the concept of the Dudleys getting the belts this soon, because I've said this before on BR Live, and especially Back to Basics. Considering the fact that it's been confirmed that they have a long-form contract with WWE, this one's going to go for a little while. If you put the belts back on them and make them that 10-time champion, it's going to seem like everything else they do is going to be, I hate to use this word, superfluous after this. That's why I think there needs to be a better build-up and a better match between the Dudleys and the New Day. But, I mean, if they win it tonight, I'm not going to bitch. I'm definitely not going to bitch, but I really think that, I often use the term too much too soon, because remember, in their first two matches back, they got the victory over a non-title over New Day, and then and a victory over Primetime Players, and then lo and behold, they're right into the championship picture, even though they didn't get the belts the first time around. Do you think
I'm right there.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm right there with you. The old school thinking, you and I probably saying the money's in the chase, and the longer you keep the belts off the Dudleys, the better it'll be when you eventually give them the payoff.
It's funny you mentioned the word chase, because I'm going to go ahead and take that segue, considering the way the weather is right now, and right now they are getting ready, hopefully, weather permitting, for race 3 in the chase for the Cup. Yeah, in the Challenger round right now, field of 16. This will be the final race before the elimination takes place. 29th race of the season. Or I think it's 29. And get my numbers right in a minute. Dover, unfortunately, could be canceled this weekend or postponed because of all of the inclement weather in place.
Good old Hurricane Joaquin. Yeah, I saw where qualifying was rained out on Friday. So actually, for some of the chase drivers, I think that might have been a blessing, because they're guaranteed to start 1 through 16. Nobody had that opportunity to show a bad car in qualifying and be down in the 30s or 40s.
Now, considering the notions in play, and yeah, I'm looking at the current NASCAR.com lineup, and it looks like everything has been pretty much put on hold, including the pole qualifying that's supposed to take place in less than 1 hour from right now. I have not checked out NBCSN or the Live Extra app to see exactly what's going to happen in that regard. But I'm just going to sit back. I've got to go in this particular direction. I know that right now, Kevin Harvick, who had a phenomenal regular season through everything that has occurred in the first 2 races, he's sitting 15th overall. This is a person who dominated the first half of the season. If he wasn't winning, he was getting second place or third place finishes. And unfortunately, in the first 2 races of the chase, running out of gas one week, and I believe it was the mechanical incident, the second one during the first race, it's just the wagon wheels have fallen off. It's like that horseshoe has just fallen off, just flown away. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be a shock if he doesn't make it to the second round?
I think it would be. I think he's almost got to win the race to guarantee himself in. And, it's funny, that seems to happen every year in a chase. Someone that, had a pretty good run during the early portion of the year, or was steady for at least all the way till the chase began. Somebody in that first race or two is going to finish 36th or worse and really give themselves a hole to dig out of.
Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin, by virtue of the factor of their winning, they're locked into the second round. They will pass through to the next round. Without a win right now, believe it or not, and my dad is turning cartwheels at this moment. Carl Edwards sitting in that 3rd spot. Joey Logano in 4th. He can have a flat tire. Look, if you haven't caught the hint, I have a world of respect for Roger Penske. He is genuinely a class act. I just feel bad that he is letting his 2 daughters drive.
I was going to say maybe a sliced bread could get a little stale this weekend.
Yeah, look, and I don't want them to wreck. I don't want them hurt. I don't want them out of action in that regard. Just cut a tire, flat tire, let it go. Let the axle break, let the engine lock up, whatever. I don't want anybody hurt. I just want them out of the race. I'm not a fan of Joey Logano. I'm not a fan of Brad Keselowski. You can't pay me to be. Like I said, I love Roger Penske to death. He's a great man. Great team owner. I just question his wisdom when it comes to hiring drivers.
Well, that was one of my favorite moments last year in the chase when Keselowski got into an altercation with Gordon, and Kevin Harvick, who had nothing to do with the incident, just shoves Keselowski into Gordon into the melee.
Yeah.
Shows you the kind of respect they have for Brad in the garage.
Yeah, I will agree to that. And
I mean, he also got into it with Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth, and I remember a couple of drivers say, look, if you get Matt Kenseth agitated, you're the problem.
And the funny part about it is, if you get Jeff Gordon to a point where he's getting in your face, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And notice Keselowski's been a little bit more quiet this year.
Absolutely.
He who was the focal point of the maelstrom last year has been relatively silent and drama-free this year, which I'm very thankful for, and Joey Logano just can't seem to follow the lead. I mean, I would make the comment about which one wears the pants in the family, but I'm sure they're both wearing pink polka dots. I'm not a nice person in that particular regard. Following down real quick, like I said, we mentioned the top four: Kenseth, Hamlin, Edwards, Logano, Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski in 5 through 8. Truex Jr., Jeff Gordon, Jamie Mack, and Dale Jr. round out the top 12. Kyle Busch, Paul Menard, Kevin Harvick, and Clint Bowyer are in the danger zone right now. Which
I was going to say, how many are cut off of the last four?
13 through 16. Kyle Busch, Paul Menard, Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer. If the chase ends, if it ends right now, they get cut. And which would be sad for a lot of people, especially myself, because I was pulling for Kyle Busch to get in.
It was a good story. It really was.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to use the term feel-good story, but it was a great show of determination. And watching Kyle come off the injury, sorry, making his way back in, and everything falling into place. And then lo and behold, he's in that cutoff spot right now. And here's the sad part. It's him and Dale Jr. back to back.
Mm.
I look at this, and I want your input on it, because this is something we've discussed before. Noticing a couple of years ago when the budding rivalry between Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the war of words was starting to build up, and all of a sudden NASCAR just put a Kiatis on it. Coming out of last year, Keselowski and the so-called rivalries, which, of course, you could almost sit back and say, yeah, this is a feud in the making. Same thing with Logano. Does NASCAR have a tendency to shoot itself in the foot over the last couple of years when it comes to building rivalries between drivers and teams?
I think, yeah, when they tried to come out, Mike Hilton said, we're going to let the boys be the boys and mix it up. That's the worst thing he could have said, because NASCAR seems to have really restricted their own words. And you and I'm sure you go back, you got Cale Yarborough, that famous incident, first Daytona 500 that was televised in 1979. But
right.
This fight, that's what catapulted NASCAR to the mainstream, was that very first race with all eyes on it. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, football players are allowed to mix it up, and the referees, get in the scrap. Hockey players, certainly. I mean, to me, NASCAR drivers, if they're off the track and they're on pit road in the garage, if they've got an issue, if you say let the boys be the boys, let them mix it up, let them do it. I mean, no one's, nobody's at risk out on the track. Certainly you don't want people swerving into people and intentionally wrecking, because then the threat of harm and physical damage can be done. But let them mix it up, because that's what sells stories. I realize they're no longer a southern regional product. They've marketed themselves across nationwide. I get that. But, your longtime fans, or even fans that may come along, sometimes it's bland when you don't allow them, because there's going to be issues. And I know, if you line up at Bristol, half the field is going to be pissed and the other one's going to be angry. It's just the way it works. And I don't know. Let the boys be the boys, but not really. I just think they've really contradicted themselves in that fashion.
Yeah, and here's the funny part about it. I have to make the comparison. Let's take it full circle for as far as we go. Lo and behold, I think it's come down to the factor of who can be more PC right now. Who can be more family-friendly right now, NASCAR or WWE? Yeah. It's a tight race in my book.
And you're right. Both those products did not make their name to where they are now by being PC.
Well, as far as WWF, E, take your pick on the letters. Just don't say F and then O. Or the other one. But, I go back to the days of Superstar Billy Graham, San Martino, Backlund, Iron Sheik, and the first part of the Hogan administration. I'm glad he got impeached. There should be following suit in history now. But, no, I'm not talking about Seth Rollins being impeached. Leave me alone. And definitely, I want Kevin Owens as Secretary of Defense.
Well, even like Ric Flair. I'm not sure if a young Ric Flair came along now, he would be able to adapt to the PC that they're going with.
Yeah, especially with the pelvic thrust he used to throw at the female fans.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be sexual harassment?
Oh, sure. Shut up, fat boy. I think that would be making fun of obesity. We can't have that.
Yeah, true. One thing really impresses me is the factor of how many different people have been recirculating the Jay Lethal, Ric Flair from Impact Wrestling a few years ago.
Yeah, like they didn't see it the first time around. I'm like, that was 2009 or 10 to my knowledge.
Yeah, and from that vantage point, but the thing about it is, I've watched it probably about 40 times because when somebody puts it up, it's kind of like Smokey and the Bandit for me, or Caddyshack. If I see it, I'm stuck.
It was gold. I'm right there with you. I'll out myself here. If I'm at home and I'm doing laundry and Weekend at Bernie's is on, damn it, I'm going to sit down for a few minutes and catch it. Not the sequel.
Yep.
The original.
The original. Well, same thing with Caddyshack and Smokey and the Bandit. If it's 1, I'm in. If it's 2, Caddyshack 2, I'm sorry, still to this day was horrible. I've watched Smokey and the Bandit 1, probably still in high triple digits. 2, maybe 100 times over the years. And remember, the movie came out in the 80s, so it's been a while. We've met. 3, I've never, don't do the Jericho there, please. I've never made it more than 8 to 10 minutes into the movie before I sat back and said, yeah, no more of this. I'll go back and watch the sterilized Tom and Jerry cartoons before I'll watch this crap. But real quick, before we go to the bottom of the hour break, want to ask a question. Watching watching Game Day right now, and lo and behold, it never ceases to amaze me, and never ceases to get me to smile at the different signs that people will bring to get on television.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, we've made clear over the last couple of weeks that the cameras will be rolling tonight. And once again, Pierce, David, brother, all the hard work, greatly appreciate. I love the work you do. What has been one of the funnier signs that you have seen held up at a PWA live show?
Oh, wow. I thought we were you got good question, because I was totally thinking Game Day on that. At a Peachstate event?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It was definitely towards a heel because it really popped me. Wow, not for dead air, but I'll have to come back to you on that one because it's been a minute. It's been a couple of years, but I'm trying to pinpoint this particular sign.
Not a problem. Tell you what,
if you want to delve into somewhere else, it may hit me. So.
We'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and take it to the bottom of the hour break, folks. Hang with us. The Saturday Showcase, the Shooters Gallery, picks right back up right after this.
This is Evan Ginsberg, associate producer of the movie The Wrestler, host of Legends Radio and Legends TV, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is the voice, Ted Guinness, host of the show right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. And hey, guess what? You're locked into Beyond Ringside. Go figure.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Larry Goodman, GWH News and Notes, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
This is Bambi Weeble with Masters of Ring Entertainment, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Let's do this thing. 23 minutes before the top of the hour on this Saturday showcase. Shooters Gallery is open on this third day of October. Fast Eddie Layne, live from Studio One and live from the Peachstate. Shane Noles, what's up, my brother?
Oh, man, doing well, doing well. Still thinking about that particular sign that I've seen at a Peachstate event, but did have a couple from the E that I'd seen over the years.
Go for it.
One was a sign I think was in the very front row at a Monday Night Raw taping, and it had the Who Booked This Crap. Now, Who was not capitalized. The letter O was not capitalized, but there were 3 H's instead of 1 in the middle. Definitely front and center capitalized.
Nice.
And with the recent John Cena unfortunate nose break against Seth Rollins, of course, a large portion of the audience would love to see Cena turn heel. A sign front and center on the or near the Titantron was, well, at least Cena's face turned.
It reminds me, thinking of that, it was a couple of years ago on Monday Night Raw as they were getting ready for, I think it was Mania, and Cena was doing this bit about dance, and maybe you'd like to see me do a little shuffle or maybe a little heel turn, and I'm sitting back going, Floor meet Eddie, Eddie meet Floor. That was funny.
I was going to say, I remember that. It was the night after WrestleMania when Brock Lesnar came out and destroyed Cena. He did that little promo. Yeah, he said, maybe I'll do something different tonight. A little song and dance, maybe a heel turn, and the way he cut his eyebrows, the crowd went nuts. Yeah.
Now, that's the funny part about Cena. When he's not trying and when he's being himself and being the, affable, so to speak, John Cena is a great personality. And when it comes down to it and everything is said and done, thank you. Sorry. Breakfast service here at Studio One. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, her. There will be no showing of my IQ inside of this studio, and you're giving me too much credit. Well, that's true. I'm being told I'm number 1. That's the ultimate inside running gag, and I'll tell you about that.
You are numero uno in Studio One this morning.
Really, as long as I'm not murder one, I'm good to go.
Spent some time with Murder last night, actually, in Barnesville.
Nice,
America. Very good show. Weather considering, and also being Friday night with high school football. Almost 300 in the house, 275. Very good showing for Wrestle America last night.
Nice. Is he going to try to make it out to PWA tonight?
No, Murder is in, I can't remember the town in Georgia. he was talking about it last night, but he was saying that if he wasn't booked, he would definitely like to come up and just watch, hang out in the back.
Of course. M1 School, always great to be able to hang out with him. I finally got some of the shots from the AWE show up on my personal and on the Fast Eddie Layne fan page. Also over on, got a couple of them up over on FastEddieLane.com. And definitely going to have cameras rolling tonight when we make the move to the historic VFW Fairgrounds. Let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. Tonight, Peachstate Wrestling Alliance returns, 1625 Bankhead Highway, Carrollton, Georgia. Bell time. What time?
7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central.
Now, here's the trick. We spoke about this on Back to Basics 10 Count this past Tuesday. Because of everything going on, but you said bell time is going to be straight up 7:30, right?
Absolutely.
Because you have got a ton going on this evening. By the way, before we get into it, for our friends in Eastern Alabama, Central Georgia, all around the Southeast, if you can make it out tonight, remember, cameras will be rolling for an exclusive DVD taping. Can I still use the word taping?
Absolutely, it's a taping.
Works for me.
Not a rehearsal.
Yeah, that's true. But from there...
You may have to write that one down.
Making notes. Hold on, let me open up Notepad. But my handwriting sucks. My handwriting has been compared to hieroglyphics. Yeah, I know.
Very hard to decipher.
We made the reference to the signs a few minutes ago, and I would love to see some great signs come out tonight at Peachstate Wrestling Alliance. Like I said, the camera's going to be rolling DVD taping in place, so definitely bring signs, posters, banners, T-shirts, and bring your ass ready to have some good fun tonight. # party at Peachstate. Let's take a quick look at it, because I know we got a ton of stuff we want to hit before in the next 19 minutes. Tonight, part of the main event, Cedric Alexander, Kyle Matthews. Run it down real quick.
Cedric Alexander, Ring of Honor star, Kyle Matthews, homegrown here in Georgia. Saw Kyle Matthews putting this up on Facebook last night. Very excited. He's never wrestled Cedric Alexander one-on-one. It's kind of a big opportunity for him to get himself back in the mix at Peachstate. Also, Cedric, this match tonight is for the #1 contendership for the PWA Heritage title, currently held by the savior of pro wrestling, Jimmy Rave. Whoever wins tonight, October 17th, got to come back in 2 weeks. The body's got to heal quickly. You got Jimmy Rave in the main event.
Speaking of Jimmy Rave, there's a $1,000 bounty on his head, and the man who will be trying to capitalize on that tonight will be the Priest of Punishment, Michael Judas.
Yeah, and managed by Al Getz of Al Getz Enterprises. And Al speaking last night at WrestleMerica that it may not just be Michael Judas tonight for the bounty. Could be more in store.
No Limit Scramble in place. Romeo, Fry Daddy, Kevin Blue, Ryan Vega. The winner gets a match against the No Limits champion, P-Dog, Mike Posey.
Single elimination scramble match, last man standing. You got to go in and face Posey immediately at the conclusion of that match.
Remember, DVD taping. Beautiful concept. But better than that, be there live. That always works better. Catch it live the first time. Really, seriously. Now, if you live in Alaska, we'll give you a pass. If you live in Hawaii, I understand that boat takes a little while to get off the ground. Do the math. What did I just say? Tag team title match. Simon Sermon, Dusty McWilliams versus Ace Haven and Charles Anders.
Dusty McWilliams, Simon Sermon, new tag team champions over a month ago. Ace Haven, Charles Anders teaming up for the very first time. So, a lot of wild cards at stake because Dusty and Simon have not been a team for a little more than a month. But it's always it's easier to keep the titles. It's harder to win them.
The Reflection of Perfection, Tyson Dean versus the feature presentation, Jeff Lewis.
Tyson Dean with Al Getz, not by his choosing, but the contract is a legal binding document, and Al Getz will be in his corner against Tyson's wishes against the feature presentation, Jeff Lewis, debuting tonight at Peachstate. Sal
Renaro and Stupid one-on-one.
As I spoke on Back to Basics, that's the match I think that is going to be good. It has potential to be great. I think Stupid will have his working shoes on tonight, and he better, because Sal Renaro is the crown jewel of Al Getz Enterprises.
And the air abounds in a little bit of controversy. AJ Steele, Calm Like a Bomb Pandora, they got something on the brain, and you're giving them a live mic.
Yep, that is the elephant in the room here in the West Georgia area. What exactly are they going to say? You can't cover tonight's event without talking about it. There's a lot of action in the ring they're guaranteed a live mic, but who knows if they may mix it up this evening with someone on the roster.
Now, you can't advance order tickets anymore. Why? Because today is the day of the show. It's kind of hard to do it that way. But from that vantage point, how much are tickets going to be tonight?
Tickets are $10 across the board at the gate tonight. Ticket gate opens at 6:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Central. If you do not have reserved front row seating or seating on the stage, this is your opportunity. I would encourage you to be there at 6:30 Eastern when the gates open, or maybe 10 minutes earlier to try to get second row general admission seating.
We have a situation in play. Hard segue. The line on the Alabama-Georgia game, or depending on where you're from.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
By the way, if you're listening right now, or if you're listening on the replay on the early part of Saturday, and I'm talking about today, October 3rd, keep your eyes open on Beyond Ringside social media sites. I won't have enough time to post it on .com, even though that's where the broadcast will go through. Situations permitting, the minute we wrap up tonight at the live event, Beyond Ringside goes live at Peachstate. You'll be able to hear it through the app. You'll be able to hear it through Ustream. You'll be able to hear it through .com, as well as Shoutcast. Be ready. And I'll get this freaking swarm of frogs out of my throat before it's over with.
Yeah, to touch on that, I'll encourage you, even if you're not able to join us live tonight, you can listen to the recap with the party at Peachstate with the Beyond Ringside crew. And also, if you did attend the event, you're driving back home, however you want to do it, through your headphones or your Bluetooth speaker, through your car stereo, you can listen to the recap going home and recap the good night that you had, a little bit of bonus coming in, because who knows who's going to show up and have something to say once all the aftermath is done this evening.
Exactly. We will have a conversation with a number of the stars that are going to be on the show tonight.
Oh, I'm going to bring that up. I talked about Bristol, Motor Speedway. I think with a big night tonight, like Pete said at the fairgrounds, somebody's going to come out of this thing, let's say, less than pleased.
Hashtag party.
And Peachstate will allow you to mix it up.
Oh, yeah. This is pro wrestling. This ain't Congress. We throw punches. Trust me on that one. Coming back over to it real quick. Do you know the line on this game has changed 5 times in 5 days?
Wow.
As of this moment, for entertainment purposes only, thank you, Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann and Chris Berman. Lo and behold, on one of my favorite websites, which is scoresandodds.com, spell out and, for the 5th time in 5 days, the line changed. Alabama, Georgia is now officially a pick'em.
Ooh.
Yesterday,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, that just hit me. I didn't see that coming.
Actually, believe it or not, I did. Because what line did I use this past Tuesday on Back to Basics 10 Count? I did say it's a pick'em right now, kind of like the Jets game. And for different reasons. The Jets... I'm going to be very interested to see what happens with the Jets-Dolphins game. But
you and I both. That's the thing. I've got to be up early in the morning. That is an 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern kickoff. Damn it, London schedule.
Yeah, I know. And the over has been shifted back to 51. The fun part about this is the over started at 53, went to 54, dropped to 52, up to 55, back to 51. It hasn't been the same number in 2 consecutive days. It hadn't been the same number all week. You could... Now, Bama fans, forgive me. I'm not going to make a production out of this, even though I can always do that. That's me we're talking about. I am of the ilk right now. I've said this all week. I'm not going to retract what I've said. And nor will I leave it on an email server. I've said Georgia and the over all week. I'm an Alabama fan. I'm realistic about things too. Georgia's been clicking. Bama's been sputtering. Last week against ULM should have been a textbook example. Bama is unfortunately sputtering. I'm not worried about the spread because right now, according to Scores and Odds, it's a pick 'em. But I'm going to take Georgia. I'm going to take the over. Shane?
I'm going to take Alabama and over.
So you're going to take...
I am not an Alabama fan.
Which way do your allegiances run?
I do run with the team on the plains, unfortunately.
Ah. Speaking of, I think I scroll up to number 145. Where did the Auburn game go?
Oh, that leaves me a plethora of jokes, but I'm not going to say.
Hashtag hell damn ass, take your best shot. No, seriously, I can normally it was right there. Here it is. Okay, sorry, 180, 179. Auburn currently a 20-point favorite with the okay. But you can buy it down to 15. But yeah, really. Gotta love the way they work this thing in Vegas. Over set at 56. What are you thinking?
I think that's a tad high when the Auburn offense is involved. I mean, they've given me no indication they're going to put up points in the 30s.
Right. Do you think they're capable of doing it?
Anyone on any given Saturday, right? I mean, they could. This is the second start for Sean White, so certainly got to. You would think be better than the first start he was in against the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Do you realize if Alabama loses today, that I think the stat was put up earlier that this would be the first in I don't know how many years that both Alabama and Auburn would have started 0-2 in conference play?
Oh, wow. Never thought of it like that. Wow.
I think I'm still watching Game Day. Cantori's even more awake now. Oh, he's a guest picker today. Cool, that works. Sorry. I do not have ADD. I just have a great way of splitting my attention span. At least that's what my therapist says. Ole Miss, Florida. Right now, Ole Miss, 6.5. Over 49.5. What you thinking?
Well, Florida, I mean, both teams are unbeaten. I mean, this whoever comes out of this game is going to have a good little, put some distance for themselves in their respective divisions. I mean, even with Georgia, that game result pending, as well as LSU. But where is the game?
I didn't. Ole Miss.
I take it. Yeah, if it was in the swamp, as we saw last week with the way the ball bounces against Tennessee in the swamp, Florida may have had a little luck. But no, I think Ole Miss covers at home. Yeah, for entertainment purposes.
At least I think that I'm getting that right. That's the only thing about half the times when I'm reading over these. It's like I'm trying to remember and I'm doing it on the fly. So if I get this wrong, I apologize. But on this site, normally the first team is the home team. The second team's a road team. Let me take I'm really skittish about the Mississippi-Florida game. And this is one that's actually, home field has not been a huge thing for me to make a decision on. Ole Miss, great place to play. Horrible place to visit. Florida, horrible place to I was about to say horrible place for both. But I have friends in Florida who are Gator fans who will kill me if I do that. And this is where I'm going to tick off some of them right now because I'm actually going to go ahead and sit back and say I really, for as much as Bama, Georgia is a pick'em, I think 6.5 is too much. Because the way both Ole Miss and Florida has been improving by leaps and bounds. They scare me. And which is going to make me think that if Georgia does get by Alabama today, and you know the world's largest outdoor cocktail party is right around the corner, that could end up being a game of the year candidate knowing both of these two teams. And especially the way they're playing right now. Because like I said, Florida is getting better and better. Georgia, they look like they're clicking on all cylinders. So I'm not looking past today. I got Florida. I think Florida's got a bigger chip on their shoulder than Ole Miss does. I really do.
You and I are split on the Georgia, Alabama, and the Florida Ole Miss. We could find a third game here. I think maybe a wager of some sort. Right here on the air.
Are we going to go for the parlay? Well, here's the funny part, because you know me. I had been saying Dolphins all week in the Dolphins-Jets game. I'm flipping on this one. This is one of the few that I'm going to flip on. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to regret this. No, I'm not. I'm staying with the Dolphins all the way.
Are they now 2.5-point underdogs?
No. Jets by a point.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if Eric Decker is going to play for the Jets. I know he hasn't practiced all week, but he is a phenomenal receiver, especially when paired up with Brandon Marshall. If he's not able to go, I just don't see the Jets being able to muster up enough offense with their lead running back, Chris Ivory, looks also to be out for a second week with good old Fitzpatrick, who I call Snarf from Thundercats. Understand? I'll have to send you that picture sometime.
Snarf! Yeah, I know. I went in a totally different direction because I remember the voice of Snarf from the Thundercats, and it was actually more of a meow Snarf. And I was thinking my vocal cords went for Pinky in the Brain. Snarf!
And I think the University of Florida, as you alluded to, maybe the more desperate team with a chip on their shoulder, all the expectations for the Miami Dolphins coming this year, not Super Bowl aspirations, but definitely playoff aspirations, certainly thought to be a threat to New England in the AFC East. At 1-2, with their bye week coming up, I mean, this is an opportunity to right the ship. 2-2 looks a whole lot better than 1-3 going home a loser.
Tell you what, the game that I will jump on just for fun, Oakland, Chicago. Raiders, 2-point favorite. I'm taking the Raiders.
I'm right there with you, man. I love that one all week long. I don't think Jay Cutler is going to start for the Chicago Bears. Alshon Jeffrey may be limited. And the two guys on their defense that played defense have been traded this week in a fire sale.
Yeah, no kidding. Actually, according to Scores and Odds, Alshon Jeffrey is out.
Oh, wow. And I know that line may seem low to some people, but the Raiders, even though they're emerging, you have to remember that win against Cleveland last week was their first win on the road in 13 road games, and also the first time they had won in the 1 o'clock Eastern time zone, I think, in 20 road trips. So doing it again back-to-back, that may be a little jet lag on the part of the Raiders. They could come out sluggish.
Just a little bit. And I've got to sit back and say this. Coming out of Thursday night's ball game, I'm really at a point again where I'm starting to detest Thursday night football.
Sloppy.
Yeah, it wasn't a great game. It had good moments in it. You also had a lot of risk for people getting injured, and one that I think there was a huge missed call on Smith for Baltimore. Because, legitimately speaking, please, sure. But the short version is, the double hit on Smith as he was going out of bounds, I'm really surprised that they didn't call an unsportsmanlike or a targeting.
I agree. Yeah, because it definitely kept it out for the rest of the game. That didn't look like just a football play. And like, you know, players say this, coaches say this, announcers say this. Playing in a National Football League game on a Sunday is like going through a car crash, an automobile accident. It's hard enough to get back within 7 days and play again. 4 days just seems crazy. I mean, it's a money grab, period.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry. Look, I enjoy a great football game. I am a huge football fan, and that's not just because I went to the Golden Corral a couple of days ago. But for me, the fact of the matter stands: the safety of the players paramount in my book. It's tantamount in my book. There is nothing greater, because if the players get hurt and can't play, if you lose enough players, you lose the team. And you lose the wrong player at any time, it's going to be a case of changes the whole dynamic of the game. That's why, remember last year, I think they, out of 17 weeks, they only had 2 that were really good on Thursday nights.
When Baltimore broke the trend, because we spoke about this on Back to Basics, I took the Steelers just for that very tradition of, on a short week, 4 days with the travel, even though it's not that far, the road team just does not win on Thursday night football. And, you know, you talk about safety. This league talking about expanding to 18 games over 16. Again, that's a money grab, because if you're saying we care about players' health with more testing and research done on concussions, look at just preseason. Look at the first 3 weeks. We've already lost Ben Roethlisberger. We've already lost, help me out here, Jay Cutler. Who's another quarterback that just went down?
They've had quite a few.
And not just in the quarterback. I mean, you're seeing season-ending injuries to linebackers, offensive linemen, across the board. It's such a high risk. Players know that, but I think the league's going to make money if it's an 8-game schedule. Let's don't put this woe is me if we were to scale back a little bit. Certainly not expansion.
Hard segue real quick. Since game day's open, theirs up. I'm going to go ahead and take it real quick before we hit the top of the hour break. Their marquee game is Clemson Notre Dame. Who you got and why?
That game is in Clemson, correct?
Yeah.
I like Dabo Swinney and the boys at home.
Notre Dame has got to be one of the biggest question marks out there right now because I use the term streaky. They are the epitome of that term. They
surprised me beating Georgia Tech. They really did.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. I'm with you on that one. I'm not always. I like Clemson, but by the same token, I've seen them shoot themselves in the foot too many times on big games to just jump right out and say, I'm going for Clemson.
I was going to say, in the last couple of years, being 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, having all the cards pushed up in their favor, hosting Florida State or Virginia Tech, and they're just not able to come through, and not only not able to come through, but get beat handily in these games.
And what was it last year? They were expected to be blown off the field by Florida State, and they almost beat Florida State?
Right.
Actually, 2 years in a row, they almost beat. They were one of the big thorns in the side for Jameis Winston.
True.
But for me, it's the game day panel is kind of like split. Corso went with Notre Dame. He came out wearing the full leprechaun outfit. You can call them leprechauns because that's what they're supposed to be. They're not going to be called little people. They're not dwarves. They're leprechauns.
There we are. Now the shooting gallery target zone is now PC.
No, if it was a midget, I'd call it a midget. If the
what about the inadequately sized Irish?
There's a line I really want to hit. You really want
potato famine?
You really want to hit this line, but I'm not. Okay, there's a difference between being PC and actually censoring myself, and sometimes censoring myself is a smart thing to do. What the hell? I'm going to go with Clemson. I got this gut feeling on this one. Like I said, they're notorious for shooting themselves in the foot. They're notorious for playing the game of their life close, but not jumping the hurdle. I think today they jump a huge hurdle. I think they're going to take Notre Dame, plain and simple. Shane, let's go ahead and take it to the top of the hour, and go ahead and pop shameless plugs and last call for yourself, sir.
I do have our useless trivia question that we posed to you.
Okay.
And you alone, and anyone that at home would like to play the game. This question, movies. Actors and actresses. There is one actor that has been in a movie that reached number one at the box office in each decade of the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, and this decade, the 2010s, the aughts, I guess. Who is the only actor that has been in at least one movie per those 5 decades that was a number one box office hit?
And you're starting in the decade of the 70s?
1970s.
There's only 3 that I can think of that would qualify in that particular regard. And I'm going to go ahead and see, here's the fun part, kids. Because if you know, for those who know me, you know that my gut instinct is to say Jack Nicholson right off the bat. That would be wrong. Mm-hmm. Or was it?
You are right by saying it was wrong.
Thank you. I feel like I'm doing a Karnak bit.
Right, wrong, incorrect. 3 things that my love life is. All right.
There you go. There you go. My second one is Al Pacino.
That would also be incorrect.
Robert De Niro.
Also incorrect.
And that would be the big 3. The only one that would surprise me more would be if it was Dustin Hoffman.
Also incorrect. This question was posed to 15 teams playing at a pay-to-play game at Useless Trivia last year. It was all movie night. This was the final question. If I had a drum roll, I'd do it. The only actor... You want to take one more guess? Make it an even 5 or an odd 5?
An even 5. There you go. God. Because I'm trying to remember, Morgan Freeman didn't start in movies until the 80s.
Right, Lean on Me. Mm-hmm.
I remember very well because he would actually, like I said, if it wasn't for the factor, I knew that he didn't start until the 80s. I would have said Freeman third. But you just took my big. Now you did say actor, which leads me to believe male, not female.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
in this day and age, it never hurts to check.
Yeah, by the same token, Jodie Foster did start in the 70s, and she hasn't done. There was just one era where I'm sure that. No, Foster would have qualified in there because she's been she's had at least one top 10 movie in those decades as well. Take it.
Sylvester Stallone.
Son of a bitch.
The Expendables 3, The Expendables, Demolition Man, take your pick in the 80s, and Rocky in 1976.
Yep, because actually what's funny is I just finished watching the story of Rocky, how that first movie was done from a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The original Rocky movie had a budget of $950,000, less than $1 million. Stallone was the ultimate wild card and the biggest risk the studio almost didn't take.
Right.
Stallone had actually been an aspiring writer and an aspiring actor, had submitted a couple of scripts to the panel at UA. They liked some of his stuff, but they weren't totally thrilled with it. He said, wait a minute, I've got one other movie. And because of the factor of some of the sports movies that had been made in that timeline, UA was scared to do a boxing movie. But then he showed them, it's like, reread the script. This is more than just a boxing movie. He sat down and wrote 60 pages in 3 days. Gave that rough draft to the people at UA, the development department. They all loved it. We love this concept. We like the idea. Let's see what we can do. Stallone actually was the one they didn't want to cast in the role.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, this is my baby. I know what the lead character's got to do. I know what he's got to be. I can do this.
I remember he threatened to take it off the table. Either we make it with me or we don't make it. And what guts for a guy that, certainly wasn't in any position financially to make that kind of statement.
And then lo and behold, they were talking about the different people who were going to be cast in different roles and who they originally wanted. It's like originally Burgess Meredith was not supposed to be cast as Mickey. They had some huge, even just as huge names that they were looking at. And Meredith came in and it's like, did the read, and it's like, damn, that's Mickey. That is it. And I'm trying to remember. I think Lauren Bacall about any other time I can remember her name. She was one of the biggest stars during the 70s in box office, and I'd remember it any other time.
Linda Lovelace?
No. Nor Marilyn Chambers. I'm not going behind the green door.
Well, she was the little girl in the commercials. Well, I don't need to talk about
Yeah, I know. Look, if we're going in that era, I could sit back and say I'm going diving with Desiree Cousteau. And shots fired. Officer down, send back up now. But, no, but seriously, virtually nobody who was in the movie was originally cast to be in the movie. It was on that list of people that they weren't in the top 5. And then lo and behold, it's like the people, when they came in, whether it was Carl Weathers, Talia Shire, Burgess Meredith, they came in, sat down, did the reads, and it's like, how did we not think of these people sooner? And then lo and behold, the movie itself, they managed to get it shot in under a month, including working with Bill Conti and the orchestra that he did. A very small, streamlined orchestra. They did the musical score for $50,000. Now, when Rocky II was in the planning phases, the budget, the corporate said, here, have a checkbook.
Whatever you like, Mr. Stallone.
They were kind of like Tiny Tim. Lisa, may I have some more? Can you bring me another 3 Oscars to our studio? It's just absolutely beautiful because the movie that they didn't want, the movie they didn't think could be done, especially the way they laid down the the groundwork to Stallone and his company or his crew. Lo and behold, when Rocky just blew the hell up, because remember, Rocky did not, and I'm going from this documentary here, and everybody was in it for the most part. Basically, the short ending to the story is the movie was not wide released. It was only released in like 50 theaters to begin with. Stallone himself was outside of one of the theaters, and one of his people came, or somebody came outside and said, "Dude, you need to be in here for this." And Stallone panicked. He walked inside, and people were standing up, clapping, screaming, cheering. And he's like, "I never saw this coming." And it's one of those movies, it's one of those few that I've been to in my life where I actually see people get up and get into the movie that much that they're cheering. You know, they're cheering Rocky, they're booing Apollo. I mean, hell.
Oh, I was going to say, even now with the new spinoff called Creed, scheduled for release Thanksgiving weekend, just the buzz on that. Stallone is a secondary character, you know, as Rocky Balboa, but it's got that old time feel where people say, "Hey, I'm getting invested in this. I want to see that story."
I'm getting a message, and it's not being reflected on Scores and Odds, but I've got a friend who actually has a direct line to Vegas. The line has shifted again. Alabama is now the favorite by 1.5 in certain sports books. Wow.
I think you're going to see that change all the way up to kickoff.
I think it is. Now, according to my notes, which I did a little bit of homework, and I've listened to a lot of the different people over the course of this past week, and they even brought it back up on game day this morning. If at game time Alabama is not a favorite, this will be the first time since I believe it was 2009 that they have not been the favorite to win a game. Like 73 straight games or something of that ilk. It's okay for them not to be the favorite as long as I'm okay with this. Look, I'm also the one who sat back and said preseason number 3, that's too high too soon. Mm-hmm. It really is. But go ahead and pop last call. I know you've got to run because I know you've got a lot to get done before tonight in Carrollton. So, like I said, if you go ahead and throw shameless plugs, it's all you, sir.
October 3rd, what more can be said? We haven't already covered back to bases. And on today, be there tonight at the DFW Fairgrounds for a good rollicking time of pro wrestling action. If you want to check out the card, you can check it out on PeachstateWrestlingAlliance.com. All the information is there, as well as our Facebook page, Peach State Wrestling Alliance. Also on Twitter, the handle is @TheRealPWA. You can reach me directly, 770-328-1162. If you have any questions about ticket information, we do have a couple of seats left on the second row of stage available for this evening. Ton of stuff top to bottom on the card. Eddie Layne, look forward to having you guys and the entire Beyond Ringside crew for the party at Peach State Wrap-Up.
Looking forward to it, and thank you for hanging out during the first hour. Like I said, we'd originally planned to go longer as far as the teamwork goes, but he's got so much on him tonight. It's like, dude, I may be only able to do an hour. It's like, dude, you got work to do. There's money involved. Have fun. Go for it. I'm just glad you could make it on this morning.
Thank you so much, Eddie. Look forward to next Saturday, and I will see you later tonight.
Folks, hang tight. Saturday Showcase comes back for the home run round right after this.
The To Be Determined Show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you you know that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Smart Rage from Wrestle Rage Radio, coming to you from the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join myself and my co-host, Super Stan Grubb, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, as we present Wrestle Rage Radio, where we rant and rave on everything in the world of pro wrestling. Sometimes we'll have a guest. Sometimes it'll be just me and Stan BSing about the sport that we love, pro wrestling. Check us out. Tune in Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, only on the Beyond Ringside Network.
Do you like beer? Do you like business? Do you like businesses that make beer? Then you'll love this new show. It's the Beer Trail Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Price, and we're going to travel through the world of craft beer and talk to the breweries and see how they got started and what inspired them to make their beer. So check it out at thebeertrailpodcast.com and tell your friends. and hope to see you on the trail.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Behrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside, and you are a better person for it. Trust me.
This is the seven-figure deal, Ace Rockwell, and as long as Wicked Nemesis isn't on the show, please listen. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
This is Awesome Austin Creed, the smartest man in this industry called pro wrestling, the valedictorian of this business. You are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Absolutely crazy. 20 minutes after the top of the hour, a little bit of an extended break for a second there. Welcome back in. Saturday Showcase Fast Steady Lane. They left me all alone. Go back and check your Looney Tunes on that one. You'll find out the exact phrase I'm using on that one. Anything can happen around this place. By the way, a couple of things I want to run down real quick. Of course, like we said, hashtag party at Peachstate tonight. Peachstate Wrestling Alliance in Carrollton, Georgia. Looking forward to having a lot of fun on that one. Mark Bowman, unfortunately, not going to be able to make the trip, at least not at this point, where he's on a to-be-announced basis, or to-be-determined basis, depending on how you want to put the phrase. Injured his shoulder and is taking it easy. So, Mark, of course, dude, I hope you heal up real soon. Take care of yourself. Follow doctor's orders. We'll be there. We'll be ready. So, and actually, he'll probably be back up and running by tomorrow because we've got a confirmed for Beyond Ringside Live, slated to be joined by the Proletariat Bora Moldova. I think we've covered the gauntlet. But I'm very familiar with the Bora, and I'm actually looking forward to having him on the show. Absolutely cool. Maybo, thank you for setting that one up. Greatly appreciated. It has been a good week here at the Radio Ranch. With everybody from the Complete Wrestling Machine, the Bosnian Badass Spiral coming on the To Be Determined show this past Wednesday night, getting the relaunch, and this may not be an every Saturday thing. And there's some things that I'm going to go ahead and lay out on air. I want to keep the original formula. Okay, I'm going to say original as it pertains to this generation of BR, because for those who know, Beyond Ringside originally started on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. And when we came back, when myself, Hitman Ryan Adcock, and the Cause Robert Cosper brought back Saturdays a while back, we put in a formula in play to where we wanted to cover different things, not just wrestling. Our first love's always wrestling as it pertains to this. But we also wanted to cover some different things because we have perspectives on different things, whether it is baseball, college or pro football, basketball, soccer, hockey, NASCAR. You know, I'm a good old-fashioned Southern boy. NASCAR and auto racing more so than NASCAR, but auto racing's in my blood and in my family. That's one of the things I really wanted to bring into play, and Hitman and Cos were both really cool about that. I think Hitman is more of the NASCAR fan than Cosper was, but by the same token, you know, not everybody shares the same interest on the BR family of shows, and that's something we genuinely can appreciate about each other. Everybody's a little bit different, and we all like it that way. Thanks for playing. But from that vantage point, we're definitely going to keep the original format in play. And, you know, I haven't gotten in touch with everybody on the network yet as far as bringing back the Saturday show yet. So this is going to be an experiment all over again and taking everything one step at a time. The invitation's on the table and the test pattern's on the television set. I'm sorry. Picking up the Wisconsin-Iowa game. First quarter, 10:03, and actually, I think there's been more seconds because I paused a second ago, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. They're in commercial break. Okay. You drove the Buick for a reason, kid. I want to extend my congratulations to Michael Elliott with Elbow, E-L Elbow Productions, on the release of the new documentary, Behind the Mask. Del Wilkes, the original and the Patriot. Recent guest on Wrestle Rage Radio with Smart Rage and Stan, and actually I'm in conversation with Michael right now because I want to get a little bit more behind the scenes on the making of the DVD set. And from there, I know that Smart Rage and Stan are working to try to get Del Wilkes back on Wrestle Rage so they can talk a little bit more about the DVD set. So check out ellbowproductions.weebly.com. That is the home for where you can get the brand new Del Wilkes DVD documentary, Behind the Mask, from Elbow Productions and Michael Elliott. Michael, great job as always, dude. He cares, and it shows. That's the easy way I can say it. He cares about his projects. They are labors of love for him. He takes on things that he is passionate about. I'm talking about Michael Elliott because of the conversations I've had with him in the past. And he doesn't just want to throw something out there, because he is a wrestling fan as much as he is a director and producer. He wants to be able to give people something that they can sit back and say, I want to watch that again. And honestly, out of all the people that I know personally that have bought from Elbow Productions, haven't heard a negative word. That is the easy way, and that is the best way that I can say it. I've not heard a negative word in response to anything that has been done through Elbow Productions. So, Michael, congratulations again. I'm sure it's going to be another home run. I've seen a lot of his stuff in the past, and looking forward to seeing the new Del Wilkes documentary, Behind the Mask, The Patriot. Tonight, also, once again, WWE. I'm really trepidatious about this show because of the rush on the build. Now, of course, I'm going to be on the road, and I don't watch TV on the road, nor do I watch videos. I listen to music, and I argue with everybody. That's the best. That's me. From there, if the character of the Big Show had not been so sketchy over the last year, at least. 1 minute he's a teddy bear, the next minute he's a dinosaur, the next minute he's a Sherman tank. I mean, you have to keep... And this is a conversation I've had with a couple of promoters. In order to keep believability in place, you have to maintain consistency. Period. Because you never underestimate the intelligence of the people who are clicking that remote, clicking that mouse, or paying their hard-earned money. Do not insult the fans. Fans aren't stupid. Companies have found this out the hard way. Why do you think Impact is struggling so much? Not because of things that are currently going on, which there have been some good things and some not so good things. I never totally walked away from Impact. I was upset, I was pissed, I was offended. So I quit watching for a while. But I gave it another chance. And look, and I'll say this point blank. I have no qualms saying this in public. I have no problem saying this on my station. There comes a point in time. Everything old is new again. And I understand this. I'm a DJ. I've seen it happen in music and television and movies. Trust me. I've seen especially it happen in music. Why do you think so many artists sample now? It's like one of the biggest songs on radio right now. Dear Future Husband by Meghan Trainor sampled Dion, Run Around Sue. Look it up, kids. I think Trainor's pretty much been sampling all the way through. But the fact of the matter stands, Run Around Sue is still a good song. Dear Future Husband is okay. But it becomes cyclical. And sometimes it's becomes sickening. Writing that one down. Shane, write that one down too. Kaz, make notes. The whole thing, and I'm coming back to it. I'm taking this full circle. You have to be able to give the people something they can wrap their heads around. I'm gonna go ahead and touch on the touchy subject. Yeah, that's what she said. It's also the title of my new sex tape. Touch the touchy subject. The day on Impact when Jeff Jarrett went forever, I changed the channel and stopped my DVR from recording. Because I said, enough is enough. I like Jeff Jarrett. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a personal issue with Jeff Jarrett. We've met once. Probably twice. But by the same time, he wouldn't remember me in a police lineup right now. That's for damn sure. But the fact of the matter stands. A dialogue on a microphone should never be run in the ground incessantly and beaten like a dead horse. And that's one of the things that was getting to the point with the GFW invasion angle. Okay, I get it. I'm for as much as I have been a fan and I appreciate the body of work that Jeff Jarrett has laid out there, I'm the complete and total polar opposite when it comes to Karen Jarrett. Look, if your significant other is your manager, your business advisor, or your valet, if your significant other is cast in a public position of being the partner in a company or the member of the board of a company or a position of power in a company, that's one thing. If you're just bringing your wife on television, don't ever give her the mic. Don't. Unless I'm mistaken, when Karen Jarrett was introduced all over again, she was not put over as the president, vice president, CEO, COO, coordinator, EVP, general manager, director, anything, front office with GFW. She was put over and presented as Jeff Jarrett's wife. Why'd she get a microphone? It doesn't matter. She is probably one of the only people I know, and once again, this is not a shot. This is just me on my side of the coin. The shooter's gallery is open. She's probably one of the few people I know that is more boring on a microphone than Nikki or Brie Bella. I'm sorry, that's the truth. It's me being real. I don't personally know Karen Jarrett. I'm sure she's a likable person. But on microphone, just incessantly drones like Triple H in the 90s on crack. Quote that. It's fine with me. Now, that part having been said, case closed for the final time. Not going to reference it again unless it's brought up again by somebody other than me. Now, coming back over tonight, Big Show. If they had taken the time to cultivate a good long-form run for Big Show, I could buy into this match. Legit. But all of a sudden it's like, and out of nowhere, Big Show becomes a badass again? No. I can't wrap my head around it. Creative dropped the ball. Creative should have thought of this a month before. And then all of a sudden, we're expected to just buy into the concept of Big Show, Brock Lesnar, Madison Square Garden as a big fight match? No. That's not the way it works. That's a complete and total rush. That's a cluster bang waiting to happen. The match itself should be good. It really should. You turn Big Show loose and let him do what he does best, and that's work. Same thing with Lesnar. I think you're going to have a good match. Great match? No. Good match? Yes. Better than good? Probably. If they're both on top of their game. Legit. From there, you're also putting John Cena and Seth Rollins for the United States Championship inside of a steel cage. Why is it an incessant point of reference that the WWE World Heavyweight Champion has to face off and challenge for the United States Championship from John Cena? They've made no other real reference to the factor of him wanting the U.S. Championship back. Why? This is befuddling. This makes no sense. This is bad booking. And I say bad booking due to the fact that there is no leeway time for this. There is no real opportunity for the fans to wrap their heads around it. Now, I understand the factor of not advertising John Cena going after Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in Madison Square Garden. 95% of the populace that follows WWE would sit back and say Cena's going over. Oh my God. 50% of those would retract that opinion within 30 seconds, considering the fact that this is a network event from Madison Square Garden, and Cena is probably not going to see that title again for a while. Mainly because they're trying to build up Kane versus Seth Rollins for Hell in a Cell. So let me come back over to this. Will they take the U.S. title off of Cena tonight at Madison Square Garden? No. Will you see a cash-in by Sheamus? Conceivable. From there, tag team championship match, Dudley Boys, New Day. This match is the most well-rounded and well-pushed match of anything on the card because the storyline makes sense. It's not just slammed in your face. It's not just out of nowhere. We've seen the cultivation of the storyline of the feud between the Dudley Boys and the New Day. This match should be main event because of the fact that it makes the most sense. Do I want the Dudleys to win? Yes. Should they win? No. Will they win? By DQ. By DQ. And I'm looking to see if it's going to be a no disqualification match. It is not listed as such on WWE.com. It's not. So, from that vantage point, like I said, will they win the match? Yes. Will they win the titles? No. The titles right now are really good on New Day. They are really good on New Day. And this is the part that I get razzed about because, lo and behold, all of a sudden out of nowhere, the New Day became entertaining. Don't rely so much on the trombone. Although I will say this, with all due respect to Edge and Christian, I really would do a backflip. I would do a cartwheel if for one night only, they brought out kazoos. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. The trombone is cool as hell. It really is. But you don't want to run it in the ground. Diversify. Change things up. I really think right now, if they were to put the trombone on hold and Kofi, Langston, and Xavier, Austin Creed, were to break out kazoos, people would be on the floor laughing so hard. Look, I know they're supposed to be heel. I really do know that. But they would get the biggest, I think they'd get the biggest pop. And I think it'd be cool as hell to see. So, on that particular one, and I just got a message from Kaz. He's just now waking up. You missed all the fun. No, you didn't. Actually, you did. A couple of more things I want to run down real quick. Folks, we've made a reference to not only tonight in things that are taking place. Let me go ahead and say this. For our friends on Sundays, October 4, I'll run these down real quick. The following shows are going to be tomorrow, October the 4th. Enigma Pro Wrestling in Green Acres, Florida. Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment tomorrow at the Legacy, 728 Spring Street, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 4 p.m. local time start. Emerge at Celebrations, 357 Tanger Boulevard, Tanger Boulevard, Suite 101 in Seymour, Indiana, 6 p.m. start time. Kentuckiana Die Hard Wrestling, KDW, in Memphis, Indiana, 1:30 p.m. start time. NWA Circle City Wrestling, Indianapolis, Indiana, 6:15 p.m. start time. The School of Rock, ROC, Class Wars, at the Lafayette Theater, 600 Main Street, Lafayette, Indiana, 4 p.m. start time. Let me bop over here real quick because I'm going to go ahead and I want to say thank you again to Josh Wheeler for letting me know. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. at the Legacy on Spring Street for Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, Cedric Alexander takes on David Starr. Shane Strickland takes on Chip Day. Jimmy Rave, Murder One from the Hierarchy. Try that again. Jimmy Rave, Murder One, and Iceberg from the Hierarchy will be in 6-man tag team action. Grizz will be taking on Darkmon. Dementia DeRose takes on Ashton Starr, and there will be more. Once again, that is tomorrow, October 4, at the Legacy, 728 Spring Street, Atlanta, Georgia, under the banner of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Josh Wheeler, thank you for sending me the info over. Greatly appreciated. This is something that I'm going to lay out there. For promoters, pro wrestling, boxing, mixed martial arts, all of the above. For sports promoters and sporting entertainment promoters. If you've got an upcoming live event, please shoot me the information. BeyondRingside@gmail.com. Love to find out about it, and that's legit. Real quick, from Combat Zone Wrestling, Tangled Web 8 goes to iPay-per-view next Saturday, October the 10th on StreamCZW.com. It'll be from the Flyer Skate Zone 601 Laurel Oak Road in Voorhees, New Jersey. From there, already announced for Tangled Web, the Tangled Web main event, Nation of Intoxication, Danny Havoc, Devin Moore, Lucky, and the Wrench, Connor Claxton, versus OI4K, Dave Christ, Jake Christ, Eric Ryan, Alex Colon. For the CZW World Heavyweight Championship, Matt Tremont. So many ways I can pronounce his name, and I try to say it properly because I've been corrected on it before. Tremont. It's supposed to be Tremont. Versus Black G's, versus JT Dunn, versus David Starr. Sozio takes on Pepper Parks. David Starr versus... you may have JT in 2 matches. Yeah, that's been changed. Dick Justice takes on Greg Excellent. Also, let's go ahead and do this. On November 21, Combat Zone Wrestling and Women's Superstars Uncensored is replacing Breaking Barriers 4 with a special event to support Cherry Bomb as she recovers from surgery. Doctors inserted a plate and 6 screws to repair a broken collarbone. Also, Combat Zone will be appearing Sunday, October 11th at the South Jersey WrestleFest, Woodbury Heights Community Center, 741 Helen Avenue, Woodbury Heights, New Jersey. Saturday the 17th, IWS versus CZW. And Sunday, October 25, MBA. The Memory Remains Benefit, Woodbury Heights Community Center, 741 Helen Avenue, Woodbury Heights, New Jersey. Check out czwrestling.com for all the updated information. But from there, like I said, next Saturday, next Saturday, October the 10th. For those who can make it live, make it live. For those who can't make it there, check out StreamCZW.com. Thank you to Nate Stein. Thank you to Phil Stamper. Thank you, DJ Hyde. Thank you to everybody who has been sending over all the updates on Combat Zone. Real quick, Tuesday, October the 6th, NWA Florida Underground at Yucatan Live, 2016 Town Center Road, Brandon, Florida, 8 p.m. start time. Also on Tuesday, October the 6th, Paragon Pro, Samstown Hotel and Casino, 5111 Boulder Highway, Las Vegas, Nevada, 6 p.m. local time start time. There are a lot of events going on this weekend. Look, it's 12:42 Eastern, 11:42 Central, 10:42 Mountain, 9:42 Pacific time. Take the time. Get out of the house. Chill, relax, unwind. If you have got a live event going on in your area, and 50 miles is not too far to ask, check it out. Whether it be pro wrestling, whether it be mixed martial arts, and there's a lot of stuff I wanted to cover, but I'm getting ready to head to the Radio Ranch because I'm getting ready to head for Carrollton myself. Schmidtke, looking forward to it, brother. Kaz, keep me in the loop now that you're awake. I'm going to go ahead and default on last call for my commentary that I laid out there a few minutes ago, but I also do. There are a couple of things that I want to lay out there in lieu of last call. First off, Leonard Fournette. Can anybody stop this kid? For LSU, over 600 yards in 3 games. And I just really have to, Les Miles, please look out for this kid. Look, I'm a Bama fan, but I respect greatness. I respect talent more than anything else. Fournette has definitely got it. This kid has a nose for football and a head on straight. Please keep him healthy. I would love to see what he can do in the pros in a couple of years. The ongoing relationship between Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, absolutely incredible. I love it. If you haven't had a chance to catch Ring of Honor from this past week, whether it was on your Sinclair station or on Destination America, you owe it to yourself to check it out. You will enjoy every match that is on this week's episode. At this point, I'm going to sit back and agree with something. I'm going to reiterate something that I have said before. Seth Rollins should be the MVP for WWE at this point. I think that he has been doing a remarkable job. He continues to learn on the job. He just needs to go ahead and cut back a little bit on the length, not the substance, but the length of the promos that he cuts inside the ring. Once again, Madison Square Garden tonight. Check it out on the network. But for our friends in the southeastern U.S., remember, it'll be replayed. Party at Peachstate. Hashtag, forgot that. It's hashtag Party at Peachstate. I'm still learning this crap. And right now, everybody who has me on social media is going, yeah, right, since when do you have to remember and learn this crap? If there's anybody who understands hashtags, it's me. More so than Jimmy Fallon. I'll challenge you on that one. There's Jimmy Fallon fans who go, man, Fallon's a bomb when it comes to hashtags. No, Fallon's good when it comes to hashtags. I can match him. I can surpass him. Ha ha. Let's take it home. Here's the quick rundown. The Trifecta is back tomorrow, October the 4th. October the 4th. Beyond Ringside Live returns on Sunday, October 4th, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Wrestle Rage Radio returns at 8 p.m. Central Time. And the Midnight Black Mass starring the Reverend Dan Wilson at 10 p.m. Central Time. Back to Basics, the 10 Count returns this Tuesday, October the 6th, 8 p.m. Central Time start time. And of course, on the 7th of Enochtober, how fitting. The To Be Determined show makes the return at 9 p.m. Central Time. I'm not putting Standard Time or Daylight Time. I'm just saying Central Time. Let it go. Okay, I had somebody sing that song from Frozen, so I'm going to boycott using the term "let it go" for the next few weeks. And the thing about it is, the child actually nailed the song probably better than Demi Lovato. I don't know. I've never watched the movie. I don't have kids. I don't have to watch Frozen. I just have to persevere when people are singing it. Also, real quick, one more thing before I go. I want my friends in North Alabama especially to make their plans. Sunday, October 18, Southern Legacy Wrestling at the Northwest Shoals Community College. Mark your calendars, make your plans. Sunday, October 18, 2 p.m. local time. The Cowboy James Storm, Mr. Anderson, Crimson, Tommy Mercer, the Rock and Roll Express, Jeremiah Plunkett, Eric Andrews, Michael Steele, Hammerjack, Will Owen, Shane Marks, and the AIWF Heavyweight Champion, Damian Wayne, and a whole lot more slated to be there. Once again, you got it, October 18th, and there may just be another hashtag BR road trip in the near future. Let's take it home. Shane, thank you very much. Kaz, wake up! I'm going to catch the rest of the Wisconsin-Iowa game. And then I'm hitting the road. For my tag team partners, the Cause Robert Cosper. For my tag team partner, Shane Noles. I am the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne saying, join us right here next time as we all go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now. We don't need the grassy knoll. The target's up. The crosshairs are set. Welcome to the Shooter's Gallery.